Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week we are on the Cresta again and we're going to full race mode. So we've got an event coming up which may or may not in real time line up with when this episode comes out, so I'm not going to mention it, but watch my socials because I will, well, same thing, you're not going to know because the episode may come out later. Anyway, we're going to be getting the car ready for racing this week and we're probably going to have at least one, maybe two racing episodes to follow after this. But we've got all of our things back that have been serviced. So we've serviced our fire extinguisher because that's out of date, or our fire suppression system. It's out of date, or was out of date, so now it's back in date. The chassis certification of the car is actually also out of date. Now I've spoken with the tech inspector and he's assured me I can actually just get it inspected at the track when we go to the test day. So that's all good. Our nitrous bottle, for obvious reasons, was empty when we shipped the car back. Our CO2 bottle was also quite low, so we've filled that up as well. We've got some spark plugs because the plugs that are in the car now have been used with 98 and E85, and we've since learnt that those spark plugs don't like being used with 98, then going back to E85. We have ignition issues when that happens. We've also got some brake pads, and the exhaust tip we are going to modify because reading the rules, and it's something that I probably didn't really think about previously. You need a cross in the exhaust tip to stop the exhaust wheel going out and killing someone on the start line when it falls out. So yeah, it's not beyond the realm of possibilities that could happen. So yeah, we do need to add that to the exhaust tip because we are going to be removing the diff back section from the car today as well, and putting our wheels and tyres on. So basically getting it ready to race. We're going to put the parachute on as well because if it's on the car, I can't forget to take it. I have also already gone through my safety equipment bag, but we may even go through that today as well to give you guys a bit of a rundown of the equipment that we have to use and the reasons why. But there's gonna be plenty of talking and a little bit of cutting and doing. Oh, I've got a Haltech keypad to put in as well. So yeah, we're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. Let's get into it.
Don't you already have a keypad in the Cresta?
Yeah, so we've got a 5x3 and we actually used a interim 5x3 in the car, which this is going to be replacing. So this is a more compact 4x2 or 2x4, depending on how you want to measure it or talk about it, or set it up in orientation. But basically, long story short, I don't need another 5x3. They're very, very much bigger than what I need. And where I want to put this is only quite narrow in height. But the reason I'm going to put this in, which is actually not relevant to racing, it's basically for cruise control. So the awesome thing with the Haltech is the only wire we physically had to put into the ECU is a brake pedal switch. All of the other cruise control function buttons are going to be handled by the keypad. So because this is a CAN style keypad, it just plugged into the CAN network. You don't have to run any other external wiring to it, including the illumination of it's all through the CAN network. So it's pretty awesome. But now I need to drill my exhaust and put the cross bolts in so Gian doesn't lose a leg on the starting line.
Appreciate it.
Now you need to offset the bolts. Now this may sound really dumb, but you need to offset the bolts so that they don't touch. Because if you drilled all the holes in the same spacing, obviously when you go to feed both your bolts in, it's not going to work.
They call them can cut for a reason.
They're definitely not can't cuts. Well, I'm seeing how I am. Hey, I didn't up. I mean, it's not perfectly in the middle, but I'll do the job.
Yeah, so obviously the diameter of that wheel isn't bigger than one of these.
Yeah, it won't come through the hole.
Yeah, cool. And that doesn't restrict airflow in any way?
Well, I mean, it will, but hopefully not.
Yeah, like marginally.
Hey.
So are they going to literally check that, or
they might?
Is it just?
But
it's
in the rules. Well, I read all of our rules.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, oh, it's in there.
Yeah.
There's more chance that the turbine will cut through the tube.
Makes sense.
Than actually blow through those bolts. Can't believe how light those are.
Why are you actually changing them? Because it looks like it's got quite a bit of meat on that.
The reason I'm changing them is actually the compound. So we had to get these in Vandermeer when we were in Colorado, and we didn't have a lot of pad before we were doing those last mountain drives. So we got some of these pads, fortunately someone had them in stock, so it got us out of trouble. But this particular pad is not a motorsport pad, so we've gone back to a Polymatrix Motorsport compound. These will definitely see us through at the track. I'm probably going to change the front brakes at some point anyway to a more road-friendly pad disc combination. I want to get a thicker pad and I want to get a thicker disc so that it has better heat dispersion. Potentially even look to go to more of like an OEM style caliper. We're talking with a manufacturer at the moment about doing a brake upgrade for this car, so hopefully sooner or later you guys see that and we can stop a bit better and the brakes will stop better for longer.
Makes sense. So you're just talking about having a larger surface area brake pad. So when you say thicker
as well.
Oh, okay, so more meat on it as well as...
Yeah, because these Willwood pads, for whatever reason, I suppose they're quite a compact unit, but by making it so compact, they've basically sacrificed pad material thickness, which means it can suffer from heat dispersion issues a little bit, as we know by cooking the brakes down Pikes Peak. Quite like that clip design. There's a few things about these calipers that I don't like, but that is actually a pretty cool little design. So even if this bolt falls out, you're pretty hard pressed to get that clip off, but yeah, it's a pretty neat little setup. Click. These are actually the same calipers that I put on the Sigma. Actually, the other reason I went away from these pads is because, I don't know, we probably don't have footage of it either, but when we were doing drag week in 19, the whole side of the car was covered in rust because these dust so heavily. So the whole side of the car was covered in like rust and brake dust because it's chewing into the disc. Obviously the disc is as much of a consumable as the pad is. But yeah, just absolutely hammered the side of the car. That's odd, it's just blown a chunk of the pad out. Obviously the pad material is overheated and just delaminated. Whoa. Smell it.
Oh.
Smell it.
Yeah, right. It literally smells like...
It smells like a train.
It smells like trucks when they lock up.
Yeah. I don't think that's the best pad material going. Like it is a road compound, so you can't... We're probably asking a lot of it. And especially because I don't really use the parachute in the US. Because A, I don't need to, and B, we don't go as fast as we do here.
Do they have more runoff at the end?
Yeah, and also the rules. They don't seem too phased about actually having to use parachutes over there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They must have less incidents then, right?
Yeah.
Or they don't really mind as much, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's funny having like different rules between there and here. Same with the roll cage rule. But someone did say to me, I read it somewhere recently, I can't remember if I heard it or read it, that the roll cage rules used to be very similar to here.
Yeah.
And then they've changed their roll cage rules to be more stringent.
Right.
Which, I don't know, it's odd. It sounds like that was lawsuit based.
I see.
Someone got sued. Like both of the front wheels weigh less than one of those wheels.
Wow, that's crazy.
When I say wheel and tyre. Spinners.
So you know how you're like a no hot liquids kind of guy?
Yeah.
What if the coffee's cold?
Meh.
Like no iced coffees?
I don't mind an iced coffee.
Ah, there you go. So
but I don't really love the flavour either.
Right, I was going to say. So it's
like I don't mind it. Like the Hectic Fanboy JDM canned coffees, they're alright.
Yeah.
But I find that the actual Japanese ones are nicer. The Australian ones are just full of sugar.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they're still made in Japan, but they obviously feel like they need to flavour it for the local market.
Sorry, we're not talking about long black. We're talking about like...
Yeah, don't get the long black one. That's just
the milky ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because you can't do milk.
Yeah, I don't normally do the milk thing. Yeah, just in case, you know.
In case you turn into a cow. Moo. Don't take the stickers off. It's bad. It's bad juju. The car has to take the stickers off. I literally tell the tyre fitters, don't take the tyre stickers off.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, so this is your genuine belief?
Yeah, bro. We've never... The only time the tyre stickers were taken off by the tyre shop, we launched a motor.
Ooh.
On the track.
So it's their fault, right?
Felt like sending him a bill for the motor. To be fair, we've broken the car with the tyre stickers taken off by the car, but I can blame them.
Why not? Why not blame
Our
someone
local
else?
tyre shop's actually really good though, hey? Like it's like a proper tyre shop. Like people actually are trained and know what they're doing. Not just like, oh, we need to get some cheap labour to fit tyres for us.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's handy. And also unheard of.
And Wayne, who does the wheel alignments, he's like the OG. He owns the deal.
Right.
Bro, he's a gun. Like,
Yeah. You can tell he's...
like proper wheel alignments, not a tyre shop wheel alignment, if that makes sense.
Karate noises.
It's whisper quiet.
It is genuinely quiet to the audience because I do manually turn it down for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Save the headphone people.
So you're just going to look silly when you say it's whisper quiet.
Oh man, if only they knew. These are dead cold too, so I think I'm just going to go to 15.
And then as they heat up, the pressure builds, is that right?
Yeah. If you let someone do too big of a burnout, the tyre pressure gets up.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, Matt. I should have got these tyres mounted onto my 12-inch wide rims.
Which ones are these?
So these are 10s.
Right.
And then when we were in America, I got the same company that made these wheels to make another 2 back wheels in a 12.
Yep.
And now it looks wimpy with 10s.
But wouldn't that allow for a media tyre, or it doesn't really?
Yeah, so the other rim's got 325s on it.
Right.
But I can put the 275 on a 10.
Is the general rule of thumb less air, more grip on the surface?
To a point. To
Yeah.
a point. You can definitely underinflate the tyre, and then the tyre will basically fold over on itself.
I see.
So if you hear someone say like, oh, the tyre, it shook the tyre,
Yeah.
what that actually means typically is that the tyre is riding up and folding up or bunching up on itself.
Yeah.
So you're getting this grip release really quickly.
I see.
And that's what's called tyre shake. But yeah, it can come from a lot of things, but running too low of an air pressure is one of them, especially on radial tyres. Like these don't like running it. Like some slick guys will run like 8 to 10 pounds cold.
Wow.
Whereas and we do run this on the lower side for a radial. Like in America, I've noticed a lot of people mentioning they run these at like 18 pounds cold, which is, we've found better results running a little bit lower. Like we run 15 pounds cold, but once you do a few burnouts, these things come up pretty quick. And then normally we kind of hover around that 16, 17 PSI hot. So yeah, I mean, the results that we've got are probably a little bit different to other people, but the rear end geometry in this may be different to their cars as well. Like a 4-link car is going to handle or enact on the tyre differently to a ladder bar car, same as a leaf spring car. They're all going to work differently. So it's a lot of trial and error. Like we've been mucking around with this car for like 6 years now. So there's been a lot of learning and changing, and even the tyre size we've changed a few times. Like we're in the US, the whole US tour on 325 50 16. 15, and we've gone back to a 275 60 15. Predominantly we run the 275 Pro in Australia anyway, but the reason we went to the 325 50 is so we could effectively change classes and go into Pro Street. We're in Pro Street for Midwest and Rocky Mountain Race Week, and for Sick Week we're in Sick Freaks, and that was open anyway, but I wanted to do some passes on the 325 for the whole year, like to get data for the whole year. So yeah, it's all come together pretty good. But going back to the 275, but I may actually put, as I mentioned before, that 275 on a 12-inch rim because it will make the tread lay flatter. Because even on a 10-inch rim, it's still got a little bit of a bubble. So the further you can pull the sidewalls out, effectively stretching the tyre, it's going to lay the tread flatter. But there's a limit to how far you can go to without bead locks. Like, I don't know if it'll be actually safe running the 275 on a 12 without a bead lock, and well, it doesn't need bead locks. It goes 1.0 in the 60. Sorry, it goes 1.1 in the 60. So I don't think we need bead locks.
Yeah,
and it's going to run a 17.
Go
Go banana.
Keen. So the whole time you're in America, the quickest you were allowed to run was 8.5, is that right?
8.5, yep.
And is that due to what the car's tech to?
Yeah, so the
Yep.
cage in the US only techs to 8.5 because it's what they call a 10-point cage.
Right.
But here in Australia, that cage techs much lower. So
Much lower as in you can run faster.
7.5?
Yeah, I see.
I think this cage is good for 7.5 as it is. Oh yeah, that's real low.
That gauge is very precise.
It is
I
very
just realised.
precise. May as well chuck some plugs in it while we're here, I reckon. No, there's probably going to be water or some sort of water residue down these because I think the engine's been washed, which is fine. Like, that's part of bringing the car in and out of the country, so.
Are you just going to blow some compressed air down there?
No, the water will be gone now. Like,
Right.
this was months ago, but more so, I mean, like, there's evidence of rust and dirt and crap down there.
Right.
Because see how black they are? That's from running on 98. Because, yeah, these plugs don't like being on 98. As it turns out, they're a bit cold. Who would have thought?
I don't even know what that means.
So basically the depth of the electrode and the length of the porcelain will change the heat range of the plug.
I see.
So if someone says a hot or a cold plug, it's not directly related to the temperature at which it ignites or anything like that. It's actually the way the plug is made. So how shrouded the electrode and the porcelain is by the body of the thread, basically.
Yeah, right. God damn, there's so much to all this. I mean, that's not a shock, but
Yeah, these are like cold. These are like 10s. So on a
Right.
road car, like on your car, the
Yeah.
heat range of the plugs is probably like a 6. We have since learnt that these 10 heat range plugs don't like running on 98. It's such an oversight that I'm so almost embarrassed to admit it. But yeah, we were running on the road fuel and then on E85 with the same plugs, but that, as it turns out, doesn't work. So if you have a good close look, they're all full of carbon and yuck.
Yep.
So we're not going to race on them. We're going to put nice new plugs in it. This already obviously has E85 in it, so it's not going to hinder us at all by swapping the plugs now and being able to start it up and drive it out onto the trailer. The other thing is I'm not driving it far. It's literally going onto the trailer, then we're going to the track. So no biggie with that at all.
What's the reasoning behind the white clips on the leads?
The
Every
numbers.
second one.
Well, it's not every second one. It's just the ones that haven't broken off.
Ah, okay.
They're just the numbers, but they do break off. It's just easy identification of the leads.
Yeah, wow, you were not kidding.
It is loud. Last time we did this, I obviously didn't put Loctite on these screws.
Okay.
So when I pulled this fire bottle out after 2 years, there were no screws. So that
And
grub screw was missing.
The screws
And then one of these two bracket screws was also missing.
Oh, there you go.
So that I'm not worried about. That I am, because the bracket, if both of those fell out, the bracket will never ever push that piston into the cylinder.
Right.
So I'm going to put some thread locker on both of these as well. I'm going to take that clip off once we get it in the car, because that is now stopping the fire system to be deployed. But once it's in the car, I'll take that one out, because there's also a security tag on the other end of the cable, which does exactly the same job. So, but this helps us with removal and installation in the car so that it doesn't spray out, basically. Because I think from memory, once this starts, like, you've only got to push it and then let it go. You don't have to physically hold it, because it's got a burst disc in there that basically, once you break it, it just pumps out.
Yep.
So it's not that you've got to hold it. Yeah, see, it doesn't say anything about having to hold it on there. Anyway, we'll chuck it back in the car, and hopefully we'll see it again in 2 years and not beforehand. Oh, the car's not in park, so I'm pushing the car along as I'm trying to put the bottle in. Because while you're away getting your sandwich, I took the car off the hoist. Because when you were here before, it was still on the hoist, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then in the hour it took you to get your Subway.
Yeah, this is true.
That was a long time.
That was a long
That
time.
was way longer than normal.
Yeah, it was.
Was
way
it a
longer
better
than
sandwich than normal at least?
normal. It actually was, yeah.
Well, that's good, because
Yeah.
it's pretty terrible down there normally. If it's one thing they can't do, it's get an order right.
Throw it back to your pickles.
Oh man,
Your
if there's one thing that you
onions.
don't take a punt on, it's if someone wants pickles.
Yeah,
It's like the most polarizing vegetable option.
true. You can't
Like,
just...
you can get away with a lot, but pickles is not it.
Correct. Pickles are delicious, but that's very subjective.
See, I find that you've got to get the right pickle. Like McDonald's ones and Subway ones, When you get like a nice homemade or handmade burger that's got a good quality pickle,
Yeah.
Nice, I like it. As you can tell by my beautiful body shape, I do like a good bad food. I do dabble in unhealthy feeding habits.
I mean, I think we're all somewhat guilty of this.
I feel like I'm more guilty than you, stick man. I like the Porto because you could get a vanilla Coke with an overpriced chicken sandwich.
Vanilla Coke is great.
Yes. Whoa, nailed it. So it's a new bottle of Threadlocker as it turns out. Right, it's now part of me. Lucky I've got this super long screwdriver, which I've used like once ever.
Does that justify the spend? Because that looks real handy.
It does look real handy, and that's why I bought it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they keep these things on the truck. So you buy them because you think they're really handy. And in my head, I'm like, this would be really handy for dashes and head units and all that sort of junk. And then you realise that you don't actually have to take the head unit out from the back seat. Oh yeah, you'd love that noise.
You caught me cringing.
Yep.
So are you excited to run faster than 8.5?
I am, yes. I'm also a little bit nervous.
Man, that is totally fair enough.
Being that I haven't driven a car, haven't driven this car at all for 6 months, and I haven't driven it at the speeds I'm going to be doing for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm also very excited. It's nothing I haven't done. Well, in saying that, there's potential to go faster. I did find the 125 shot nitrous jet today.
Meaning?
It's like twice the amount of nitrous that's currently in the car. It's like a tiny little insert that goes in the front.
Understood, and it lets out way more nitrous than the other one. Meaning
Yeah,
more,
so it's like a carby jet.
Right. More fast.
Which you probably also don't really know.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I've seen a carby jet in the past.
I suppose, yeah, we played with carby things before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I've mentioned before, but it's one of those I'll mention every time we do it things.
Yes.
Use AN caps every time you take something out of a car that's AN, especially if it's a male thread. Put a cap on it because it stops thread damage. And like something like this, where it's not easy to change that part, it could save you $300, $400, $500 by simply putting some of these caps on. So I had 2 caps on the fire extinguisher, 1 cap on this, and I had a male plug in the nitrous line because I didn't want to get any contaminants in the line. And also, I wouldn't be a vacuum leak because it's a solenoid, but anyway, it's much better if you cap that off, so stop stuff getting in it, and then you can put all your stuff back in normal. And don't put thread sealer on AN fittings either, or thread tape. Don't need it, don't do it. So I'm just going to nip this up now so the line's still loose because I want it to be able to swivel, but it's also hard to get that fitting on the bottle in the car. So I've just sat it in there so we can put it in place. This quick release bracket's not bad, but I think eventually I'll change this to a nice proper Raceworks billet one. Woofed. No leaks. Just gonna shut the bottle back off. And I'm also gonna take my safety clip out of the fire extinguisher because we don't need that in there anymore.
This is part of the rules as well, you gotta have that.
No, this was when I got it engineered. So this is more for road use, but I figured I may as well just, I never normally take it out. It was only out to get that extinguisher out. That's right, I've got to put the CO2 bottle back in too.
So this CO2 bottle is responsible for the shifter?
Yeah, so this drives our air shifter, except for Jambo. We can't use it at Jambo in the race day.
Yeah.
So I can use it in the test day. But yeah, they've actually, as it turns out, when you read the rules, you find out what the rules are. And you can't use CO2, so.
What do you have to do in order to switch back to not using the CO2 for Jambo?
Just turn the bottle off.
Physically
because
turn
the
it off at
shifter
the
still
nozzle.
works fine.
Yeah.
It's just you've got to have the bottle off. I probably won't even have it in the car, to be honest.
What's your game plan for Jambo? Are you going to kind of...
Win.
Are you going to start slow and kind of ramp it up just to get used to the car again? Or?
No, because we're going to do the test day on the Friday, and there's no competition on the Friday.
Yeah.
It's purely a test day, so yeah, Friday we'll work out all the whatevers.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll be, well, I mean, touch wood, it'll be a pretty smooth day, but I mean, who knows when you pull a car out that you haven't driven for over 12, well, over 6 months.
Yep.
Like it's literally, who knows? So we got all our bottles in. I may as well start looking at the keypad. I am gonna have to cut the dash, which I'm not super stoked about, but inversely the dash isn't in good condition anyway, so I'm not really that fussed. So I'm probably gonna have to trim out a section of this, probably just put a hole saw through here, because the back of the keypad is deeper than the, so basically the carbon piece I've got here, there's nothing behind it. So that's where the head unit was.
Yep.
So all the stuff on the back, it's quite deep, but there it doesn't matter. Whereas here, because we're gonna go over the top of all of this, it's gonna be somewhat in the way. Can you grab me the keypad, please, actually?
Yes.
Thanks, mate. Oh, look, I just pulled the keypad out.
What magic?
Yeah, so it's going to go here, and then I'm going to actually put this connector in the carbon panel as well for the bump button.
Yep.
But to do that, I'm actually going to have to cut both ends off and change it, because I want the receiving end to be on the car, because I'm actually going to glue this into that carbon panel so that it will stay on the car side, and then we just unclip it. Because at the moment this wire is just like hanging in the wind, and that panel's been missing forever. So yeah, I think we're just going to do some bit of trimming. 150 by 75.
I feel obliged to tell you the tag on your shirt's hanging out.
What tag?
Like the back tag, yeah, there you go. I probably should have told you like this morning.
Whatever. So I need my super expensive verniers.
You're not kidding, are you?
I am kidding.
Oh, okay. Are they plastic?
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
apparently they're carbon fibre, but I don't know if I believe that. 38 mil, it reckons. Cutty, cutty. I'll make the fit really tight on that centre bore, so it's not going to turn anyway. It's like that's basically going to locate it. Winner.
That's convenient.
Not their first rodeo.
See, once again, this goes back to the early learning chat.
Kindergarten. Did you have plastic scissors as a kid? And then we had plastic scissors that had a metal edge. And then by like year 4 or year 5, you got like the real thing. When they realised you probably weren't going to cut your hand off. Some kid I went to school with put scissors in the PowerPoint.
Maybe that's why I give you the plastic scissors.
Bro, this was in high school.
Ah, I see. Doing without thinking. I mean, I feel like I still do that sometimes. This is some exhilarating viewing right now. It's hypnotic. Should I just stop rolling just before you finish the cut?
Ah, my finger. And that's how you make snow angels. You know, like the paper dolls that you unfold, like snowflake things and shit when you're a kid?
Like one side or something.
No, not even. You just like fold it up 4 ways and then you cut it. And then it opens up into the big like daisy chain thing.
Far out, what a throwback.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this to the dash, and then I'm just going to drill through those holes when it's mounted into the dash so that the studs won't clash with anything. You know what I mean now?
No.
Cool.
No. So you reckon they're hole saws because like W-H-O-L-E saw, or as in like...
Hole, as in you make a hole.
Yeah, I see.
Not as in you make a hole because you're making it unwhole, because you're taking something away, so how could it be whole?
Right.
Think about it.
3 a.m. thoughts. Yeah, so H-O-L-E.
Yes. Gian's hole chats.
Not a half one. What? Oh, jeez. I didn't even realise. I was like, I don't think my joke was that funny.
It wasn't even a joke. I literally went to put safety glasses on. But I don't need to put my dust mask on. Okay.
Snug.
Got ya.
Mate, that's confidence.
What?
Just
Bash a drill in?
done. Yep.
Wow. I eventually want to get rid of the climate control panel, so I'll probably eventually I'll get a carbon panel to go all the way across the dash.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this is true. I reckon it'll make it look really clean and nice anyway, so...
Except the fact the carbon's all just screwed in.
Well, how else would you do it?
Glue it, I guess.
Okay.
But the reason it's all screwed in and easy to get to is because I can just take it out.
Yeah.
Like it's got easy access to whatever's at the back of it.
Yeah.
Like if we need to do something, it's literally just take 4 screws out.
True.
It's 2 for the shifter, 4 for that panel and 4 for this panel. So it's not really like a whole lot of effort to get the dashboard apart should we need to get it apart.
Yeah.
Like if an electrical terminal backs out or anything like that, it's easy to get. Even if we need access to the Haltech CAN network, like either of these panels,
Yeah.
take 2 seconds to unscrew. Could just use a smaller or longer screwdriver. It's just exactly the wrong length. Let's see how wrong I was.
Or how precise you were.
Literally just freestyled that. Not bad.
Precise.
Oh, me Cresta dash. Well, it just goes with the rest of the car and it's chopped up too now. To be fair, it was already chopped up, so the second I ran a saw through the corner where the roll cage was going, it was all over, so the internet can breathe easy now. And the good thing is now I've done that, I don't need to modify the keypad, so if for whatever reason we have to change a keypad on the go, it's a 5-minute job to just put it back in the same spot.
True. Logic. Hey!
Not even kidding.
Was it a good catch or was it a good throw?
Well, I mean, you didn't catch it, so I'm going to go with a good throw.
I didn't dodge it either. Just saying.
Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Left, 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 down, up, up.
Up. Oh, there is one up.
All the way at the back.
Step. Oh, sorry. What was step drill?
Yeah. One more for good luck, why not?
Was that 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. You reckon that guy's drilling out 1 or 2?
Oh, he's going for 7, I reckon. Rightio, we're on now. So all I got to do now pretty much is change that connector, put that in, run the wire up to the CAN keypad. So it's only like another 2 hours of work. Just keep running the drill through it until it fits. That'll do it. It's bad that the mask tastes like E85. That'll go there, which that'll go through. I don't need the mask on anymore anyway. Be gone.
Only if you want to muffle your words.
Nailed it. Ah, bells.
What?
Well, I don't think that there's going to be clearance for these screws. I need to change the gender of this connector. Oh God, I don't want to fold up into there.
Contortionism. Probably a good niche market, I reckon.
Contortionism or dash
well,
repair?
just the combined, as a combined profession. You know?
Do you think it would be a combined profession or 2 completely separate? Like, would it be on the same business card, do you think? Or do you reckon you just double down and print both?
I think that would be the selling point is, contortionist.
Yeah, I suppose.
Look at us giving away $1 million business ideas again.
We have a habit of this, hey? The screwdriver's still the wrong length, believe it or not. 2 different long screwdrivers in one episode. What a treat for the viewers. Okay, it lights up. Don't forget to put the cheese in when you're doing Deutsch connectors. Dave calls this the cheese.
Why is it a wedge shape?
Yeah, and it locks the pins into the connector so they're like mechanically locked in.
Yeah.
You never get those pins out without taking the cheese out. So the whole reason I'm doing this is so that's panel mounted. People will probably wonder why I've gone to the effort of changing it. But I wanted it to be panel mounted instead of just a random bit of wire, because on the off chance that it goes back into the dash, it has done it a few times and it's not fun to fish back out again, because it generally falls way down inside the dash somewhere. And invariably I'm in the staging lanes trying to get my bump button to work, and it's not a fun time. I actually got these panel mount Deutsch connectors from Raceworks, eh? Like they got so much stuff you don't think of they have. like, I know obviously they do a lot of the AN stuff and the silicons and that sort of deal, but they do so many other little bits and bobs as well to just help us out with this sort of stuff. I was going to get Maddie to do some remoting today, but I can't find my laptop, so remoting is not an option. But fortunately, Maddie's coming down to racing next week, which is in real time, so you may or may not see that in this right order, but he'll help us set all this stuff up. We'll fix the bump button, get the keypad set up. Actually, can you pass me the box for the keypad? Because I can probably put the buttons on. And can you also pass me a rag and some brake cleaner?
Yes.
Because the buttons are dirty already, because I have dirty hands.
That looks like the fun part.
What, peeling the stickers?
Choose your buttons. What do you got there for cruise control? Like activate, the one for like engaging cruise control.
There's like a master on switch. Then you've got reset, then you've got accelerate, set or coast.
What's the other one that you've put there? Just
nitrous arm. Because
cool.
I don't think, there's no nitrous arm button on that. I think we repurposed one in that to make the nitrous arm.
And you've used up all those buttons on the other keypad?
Yeah, so that keypad's full.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I can't think of anything that we really need.
So nitrous arm would be, it's a 2-button process to engage nitrous?
Well, I don't drive the nitrous, so that will mean that the nitrous functionality in the ECU is enabled.
Yes.
So without that on, it won't do nitrous ever.
Makes sense, yeah.
So we'll go nitrous arm, which means that it's then active.
That's such a cool word, don't you reckon? Arm? Like, it's just like, I don't know, just sounds like ready for battle type stuff. Especially when you put nitrous in front of that word.
Gian chats.
3am thoughts.
Well, I'm happy with this, how this has all gone together. It's definitely tidied up. Oh, I've got a vacuum clean still.
Yeah, don't forget.
Nah, that job sucks.
Haha.
No, I'm happy with how it's gone together. I like the panel mount. I wish it was black, but you can't really see it anyway now. It's tucked in there. It's pretty well between the keypad and the column. Having it sitting on a bench, you always got to think that an item that's going in a car is always going to look different in the car than what it does sitting on a bench. So yeah, having it now all in there and mounted up, it all looks pretty good. So I'm really happy with that. Job done. Well, that pretty much wraps up the episode. We've got a ton of little fiddly jobs done today. We've always talked a bit of trash as usual, and the car is now better than what it was this morning. So pretty stoked to be able to actually get it back out to the track and do some passes in it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Next episode, 7 seconds.
Let's hope.